Good morning, guys. So we have had a move lower on the indices this morning. We had a drop on the NDX.X. You can see here that the first move of the morning was from the peak of yesterday's closing range down to the trough of today's opening range up into where we first reversed. That was a 382 pullback. So the next level that we saw the stock travel to in terms of a fib retracement is up to the 50% level, and that's exactly where we are right now. So we had a 50% move there. We are putting in an infield fly setup. You know what that means. If it winds up closing down where it opened, then we're going to expect to see that price is going to drop. And if it does drop, it's probably going to drop down to that orange line at 289.97. The name of the game this morning has been watching for the opportunities to catch the inflections and then not going back to the well too many times. This is always the case. The 289.97 threshold from early trading was actually a little bit higher than it should have been. If you went and you really looked at this, the threshold level would have been down in here somewhere. And that would have given you better control over what was happening in the ranges. It's always important to go and readjust those lines as the day goes on. Once we got up into 290.98, or actually into the green pivot, which was the only thing you had to use as a guide at that time, you had the reversal move back down, and then you had another opportunity for that same trade and another move back down again. And then the next time that it moved higher, the long trade worked out and the short trade didn't. So the short trade should have stopped you out right above the S1 pivot line, and that would have then ended that particular series of back and forth sweeps that the stock was doing. So for the rest of the day, I think we're going to focus on the fact that the morning trading ranges have been well defined and line up nicely with these volume by price thresholds. You can see here these little histograms are bumping out roughly in line with where the zones are, where the support and resistance lines are. And now you can see we're actually getting that reversal back down through that infield fly setup. So if we get down below that green pivot line, then you can even wait for 290.98. Then a move lower would be expected. And as I said, the place we're going to look for that to go is down to that anchored VWAP. Anchored VWAPs are pretty close to the 289.76 level. So there's some confluence there. And we see that the stock is also doing a pretty good job of being constrained by these two SD bands. So remember, these are on volatility. So what happens is volatility increases, the bands are going to widen. Volatility decreases, and the bands are going to tighten. So that's a caveat anytime that you're using that kind of a thing. The other thing to look at is the RSI. RSI is the same thing, right? In the morning, when we had sort of a tighter range, we had a high around the mid-60s. Now we got up into 70, and we're seeing a reversal. And when we had the 289.76 threshold level, we were just down around that line right there. So these are the places to sort of watch for the inflections on the RSI. History tends to repeat itself, and if it does, you don't want to be on the wrong side of history, right? All right, so I'm going to go ski. Today's our last day here. I'm going to drag this kid out on the hill if I can get him out of bed. I hope you guys are having a great trading day. This should be fairly simple to isolate. You've got these ranges from yesterday that are still in play today, so watch these levels up here. And if it gets up into 292.76, then watch for the 293.45 pivot line up above. That would definitely be a place that I would be looking for an inflection that sends the stock lower. Have a great day, and I will talk to you later.